Hello, what is up, my friend? Welcome back to the Be Cool and Live Balanced podcast. Okay, so I have to be completely honest, straightforward here from the beginning because this is your fair warning that today's episode is going to be some tough love. And if you are looking for something that's just a little bit more gentle, or you're not in a place to hear that today, this is not the podcast. But I will say that if you are ready to hear the truth, even if that means that it might sting a little bit, but it could also be something that sets you free or pushes you towards the direction that you need to be successful, then I want you to keep listening, even if this is hard to hear, because this is something that I speak from personal experience, because I will always say that I am not perfect. I never have been. I never will be. I will never claim to be perfect. And this is something that I had to work through as well. And it has a lot to do with my confidence, if I'm being completely honest. But it is on the top of my mind because I have experienced a lot of this as a coach as well, and just as a person in general. And one thing that really, it's one thing that just really irks me and really frustrates me and really makes me upset, but also just kind of breaks my heart, if I'm being completely honest. And that is the amount of grown adults who just ghost. And I will say that once again, I'm not perfect. And I have been there. I've missed messages, whatever. But I'm talking about the grown adults who just ghost, can't communicate, and then they play victim to their circumstances. You want results, you want change, then you've got to show up and you've got to communicate. And I thought about this on a much deeper level because it's the same thing that so many of us do to ourselves. You ghost your own goals. You say you'll work out 3 times a week and you don't. You say you will work on increasing your protein, or that you'll try to hit your protein, or you'll try to hit your water goal. You say you're going to get more sleep, and then you stay up all night scrolling on TikTok. You promise yourself you'll eat better and you're not going to DoorDash every single meal. You'd be upset with a friend or a coworker or a client, whoever it may be, if they flaked on you like that, right? But you do it to yourself all the time. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you feel exhausted. That's why you're frustrated and you're not getting results. And you feel like nothing's changed. And I'll be completely real with you. Once again, I've done it too. I used to set these really big goals for myself and then push them off, or I'd let stress be the excuse, or I'd be like, okay, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to hire this coach. And then when it came down to it, I was like, oh no, I can't do that. Or I would, start the coaching for a little period of time. And then I'd be like, oh no, this is too overwhelming. I can't manage all of the things in my life. And that was no one's fault but my own. I let that stress be an excuse. I let my time be an excuse. I'd break promises to myself all the time. And every time I did that, I felt smaller. I lost confidence. I was shrinking myself. I didn't trust myself. It wasn't until I started to actually respect my own time, literally treating my workouts, my health, all those things like meetings. They were a priority, one that I could not cancel. And for me, that's when things started to shift. They weren't just, I was going to try. They were a non-negotiable. Taking care of myself, showing up for myself, even if that was just communicating with my coach, like, hey, I really can't do this today, or I'm having a really rough day. I need a break. I'm going to go for a walk. That's when those things started to shift. That's when I started to build my confidence, started to trust myself again, started to believe that I could do what I wanted to do. And I actually started to see the results, started to see progress. Respecting yourself, respecting your time is respecting yourself. Point blank, period. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you chip away at your own confidence. But every time that you keep those promises, even just the tiny ones, if that's drinking a small glass of water before each meal, or drinking 100 ounces of water because you said you would today, you build self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. If you are not taking responsibility, you are putting your circumstances, your situation on external factors, and we cannot control those. And taking responsibility isn't about being perfect. It's about owning your own choices. Because every time that you say life got in the way or work is too crazy, what you're saying is, I gave my power away. You are giving your power. You are giving the power and the energy to an external factor in which you cannot control. And when you live like that, literally everything is going to feel out of your control. You are going to stay stuck in the victim cycle. you will never build confidence because confidence only comes from proof that you can do the hard things. It is made through those action steps. And I'm not saying that it means that you did something wrong. Like, that is not what taking responsibility means. Even if you are not the person who, is at quote unquote fault, but if you take responsibility of like, hey, these are the things that I control, these are the things that I can do despite all these other factors, that is you taking responsibility. That's what I'm talking about here. And taking responsibility matters because it's the foundation for literally everything that we do, because you can't change what you don't own. You can't build trust if you keep giving yourself an out. I actually had a friend say this to me. Actually, she's a fellow coach a couple of years ago. Her name is Christina. One of the things that she said to me was, don't use that word, because we were talking about our goals for that week or that month. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, the word try. And I was like, well, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do all these things. And she said that when you use the word try, that gives yourself space. You don't notice it. You don't realize it. You give room for excuses. And I was like, what? Okay, so we're either going to do something or we're not going to do something. And that is stuck with me. Every once in a while, I will use the word try, but like, I've eliminated that for the most part from my own vocabulary because I don't want to give room or make room for an excuse to squeeze through. So I highly encourage you, if you are someone who uses that word all the time, to try it. Just give it a try and then tell me what you think, because it can be seriously such a game changer. I don't know many people who have been highly successful who constantly use the word try. And before that moment, I had never even thought about it. It had never even occurred to me or hit me. But I was like, this makes sense. But I digress from that. Also, taking responsibility. You can't change or you can't create a strong, confident life if you're constantly blaming your circumstances that are around you. And I am somebody, I had to learn this the hard way. For so long, I blamed my schedule. I blamed my stress, even my body, for why I wasn't where I wanted to be. And, this last year, I wanted to put a lot of blame on my body. And it's not that I didn't necessarily, but I am the reason that my body got there. I am the reason that I experienced such extreme blow. I am the reason that my body shut down because I did not take care of my stress the way that I should have. I had traumatic things that happened that just sent all of those things that had kind of accumulated over the edge. Like, that is on me. And nothing changed until I took responsibility for that. The second that I owned my part, the second I stopped ghosting myself for the last when it comes to anything, the last 10, 15 years, that becomes the pivot point. I didn't have to be perfect. I just had to take responsibility. I just had to own it. And I will tell you, that is so much more freeing, because when you take that power back, I'm telling you, that is different. So here's your tough love challenge for the week. Stop ghosting yourself. Stop ghosting the people who are trying to help you as well. That is also a complete disrespect of their time and their efforts and their energy. Those people are there to help you. Stop breaking promises to yourself. Pick one thing that you can commit to and follow through. Even if it's a challenge to commit to it, prove to yourself that you can be trusted. Because if you can do that, the confidence will follow, guaranteed. But that is my rant. That is my little tough love for today. I appreciate you if you are listening, because that says to me that, and to you, right, that you are ready to take that step, to hold yourself accountable or be held accountable, to move the needle forward, to be successful. And I respect that. And I appreciate that. And I love that for you. It's not always to hear the tough love stuff, to feel like, oh, gosh, that's me. But, sometimes it's everything that we need to hear. And if it did resonate with you, reach out to me. Let me know. Because once again, you're not alone. There are still moments where, when I'm doing certain things in life and I just have to take a step back and remind myself, like, I am responsible for this. I am responsible for my success or lack thereof. And I have to respect my own time. So I will tell you, I appreciate you very much, first of all, for listening. So thank you. But also respect your time, respect your commitments, respect yourself. That's it. That's the message. End of story. Have a wonderful week. And I love you very much. You deserve the absolute best. That's why I'm giving you this tough love. So if you haven't heard it today, I don't actually think I've said that much on this podcast, if at all. So you are very loved and you are very capable of achieving all of the things that you want. So go do that. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family, your friends, but most importantly for you. And have a killer rest of your week.